The Agony of Marriage, a tale of love, sacrifice, and heartache. In a small town nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young couple, Sarah and Samuel. They were both in their early 20s, full of youthful energy, dreams, and love for each other. Their relationship had always been something out of a fairy tale. Sarah, a beautiful, intelligent woman with a heart full of kindness, had met Samuel during her college years. Samuel, a charming and ambitious young man, had swept Sarah off her feet with his caring nature and his promises of a bright future. After several years of dating, they decided to get married. Their wedding was a beautiful celebration of love. Friends and family from near and far gathered to witness the union of two souls. Sarah and Samuel were the picture of happiness, and everyone around them believed that they had found their happily ever after. However, as the months turned into years, the harsh reality of marriage began to set in. Sarah found herself feeling lonely, even though she was living with the person she loved. Samuel, who once had dreams of building a life together, became consumed by his career. The long hours at work and his constant drive for success left little room for Sarah, and soon, their once strong bond began to weaken. They barely spoke, and the moments of connection that had once defined their relationship were now few and far between. As Sarah tried to hold on to the love that had once been so strong, she started to notice changes in herself. She became withdrawn, struggling with feelings of emptiness and isolation. She had lost her own sense of identity in the pursuit of making her marriage work, but it felt like no matter what she did, Samuel was always distant, always focused on his career. One night, after a long, silent dinner, Sarah couldn't hold it in anymore. She sat down with Samuel, her heart pounding, and poured out her feelings. "Samuel," she said, tears streaming down her face, "I love you, but I feel like I'm losing myself in this marriage. I feel like we are two strangers living under the same roof. I don't know who I am anymore." Samuel looked at her, surprised and somewhat confused. "I don't understand, Sarah. We are fine. I'm doing this for us, so we can have a better life, so we can build something together. But you don't seem to understand how hard I'm working to give us a future." His words, though spoken with good intentions, only added to Sarah's pain. She had understood that Samuel wanted a better life for both of them, but it wasn't just about money or success. It was about love, communication, and the little moments of connection that made a marriage meaningful. She needed him, not just as a provider, but as a partner, as someone who truly saw her and valued her for who she was. Despite the conversation, things didn't improve. Samuel continued to prioritize his work, and Sarah felt more and more invisible. She tried to fill the void with friends, hobbies, and even therapy, but the emptiness lingered. It wasn't long before Sarah began to question everything about her life. She had married the man she loved, but now, she felt like she was living a life that wasn't truly her own. She found herself asking, "Is this what I really wanted?" One fateful evening, after another heated argument about their growing distance, Sarah made a decision. She packed a bag, left the house, and stayed with a close friend for a few days. During this time, she reflected on everything, the dreams she had before marriage, the woman she used to be, and the woman she had become. It was clear to her now that she had lost herself in her marriage, and while she loved Samuel deeply, she didn't know how to find her way back to herself while staying in a relationship that wasn't fulfilling her. After several days of deep reflection, Sarah returned home and made the hardest decision of her life. She asked Samuel for a separation. The conversation was devastating, and Samuel was hurt and confused, but Sarah knew deep down that it was the only way for her to regain her sense of self and pursue a life that was her own. Years went by, and both Sarah and Samuel went through their own personal journeys. Samuel eventually realized how much his ambition had cost him, and Sarah, though still heartbroken by the loss of her marriage, found herself again. She discovered new passions, started her own business, and traveled the world, things she had once dreamed of but had put aside in the name of love. One day, Sarah ran into Samuel in the city. He had changed. He was no longer the driven, career-focused man she had once known, but a more humble and introspective person. He apologized for the pain he had caused her, and for the ways in which he had neglected her needs. "I was so focused on building a life for us that I forgot what really mattered," he said. Sarah, now a woman who had healed and rediscovered herself, smiled gently. "I don't regret our time together, Samuel. You were a huge part of my life. But I needed to grow, and I couldn't do that with you. I had to learn how to live for me." They parted ways that day with no promises of rekindling their relationship, but with a deep sense of understanding and mutual respect for each other's journeys.
Now it's time to go answer the question of the day and get your points, and if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please like and subscribe now. This is how we continue to stay in business. Thank you and good luck.